What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a quick video So what's up guys, I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to do a quick and simple video that kind of goes over one of the Ubuntu flavors that is pretty much built for creators. And just to explain, we all know Ubuntu and they have a base distribution that's out there, but they also have a number of other flavors, and most of these flavors are centered around the desktop environment. For instance, they have Ubuntu, which is centered around the KDE desktop. There is a Lubuntu for the LXQT desktop. And then also my favorite, which is Ubuntu with the X in front of it. So for XFCE desktop environment. But they also have other flavors that are centered around certain tasks and certain things that you want to do. For instance, content creation or audio creation. They have what they call a Ubuntu Studio, which is basically a creator version of Ubuntu. And the reason they have these different flavors is so that the project is maintained by a separate group of people, because they have the Ubuntu base, and then there's separate projects that focus around the different desktop environments as well as the different versions of Ubuntu, like Ubuntu Studio. And it gives those people, you know, ample amount of time to actually work on specifically that project and test out the tools or test out all the applications that go with just that one project. For instance, the KDE version, you know, you have a KDE team that actually focus in on getting all the KDE desktop environment applications to work properly on the Ubuntu operating system. And they release updates after they're fully tested within their environment. So you never have to kind of worry about the operating system running into many bugs, because it's tested heavily before it's actually released. So like I stated, I wanted to show you guys Ubuntu Studio. So let me go down and bring up Ubuntu's website so you guys can actually see where to actually get it from and get a little information on it. So let's get started. All right, cool. So I'm at Ubuntu's website. And the reason I wanted to go to Ubuntu first, because most people don't know how to actually get to the different flavors. But it's right here under the downloads page. So if you click download, and if you look down at the bottom, it'll show you all the Ubuntu flavors on the right hand side. Now you can obviously, you know, just search them up, but if you don't know the names of them, that's where you can find out what the names are right there. So you can click on Ubuntu. Like I said, that's the KDE version, the LXD version, and the Budgie. They have a Budgie version, Kylan version, Mate version, and the one I want to focus in on is the Ubuntu Studio. And I already clicked on the link. I'll just click on it again so you guys can see, but it's ubuntustudio.org. And like I said, this flavor of Ubuntu is basically created for creative people. So people that are in music, people that are in photo editing, people that are in audio editing, you know, and different things like that. It's like a creative version of Ubuntu, and all the tools are pretty much tested to work properly on its distribution. So let's go down and read a little bit about it. It actually comes with the XFCE desktop by default, which is a very stable and lightweight desktop environment, which is why I tend to recommend that desktop environment. But if we look down right here, it says release notes and the download. You can actually download it from here. It says don't want XFCE, use Ubuntu Studio installer on any other official Ubuntu flavors. So that's one thing you can actually do, is download the installer and run it on whatever desktop environment or whatever Ubuntu flavor that you like. But the official version actually comes with XFCE. And just like with most distributions or Linux distributions, you know, it has a community behind it. So you can go in and actually look at the Ubuntu Studio community. You can go through, they have an IRC and Matrix. So, and I haven't joined any of these. I don't typically use Ubuntu on a regular basis, but they do have a community centered around just Ubuntu Studio. You can obviously find a lot of fixes. So if you run into problems, you can find a lot of fixes from the main Ubuntu's website, because the base of this operating system is really Ubuntu, just with all the tools on top of it. But let's go to the About Me page, or the About page. This will kind of explain a little bit more about Ubuntu Studio. It says Ubuntu Studio is a free and open source operating system and official flavor of Ubuntu. Ubuntu Studio is most widely used multimedia orientated operating system in the world. It comes pre-installed with a selection of the most common free multimedia applications available, and is configured for best performance for various purposes: audio, graphics, video, photography, and publishing. And it says right here, it is a community project. Ubuntu Studio is a community effort created by volunteers, targeted towards all skill levels from beginner to pro, and aims to be easy to install and easy to use, as well as provide all the tools necessary for any type of media content creation. And just to read a little more, it says we aim to be multimedia oriented operating system configured to work out of the box for multimedia applications, and to be especially easy to use for the complex processes required by professional audio production, while still being a good all-in-one studio for various creative types. And then you can also contribute to Ubuntu Studio, just like all the different flavors of Ubuntu. You can contribute and show support. Like it said earlier, it's created by volunteers and it's free and open source, so anybody can use this, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to actually to help keep the project going. You know, you could donate $1 here or there or whatever, but it's not required. So let's go to the features page. I just want to show you guys a little bit more. So if we go into audio, this is audio. It says recording, mixing, mastering, live processing, and even coding. Whether you aim in recording, mixing, mastering, live processing, and even coding, there are a variety of tools for you. With a full suite of audio applications, Ubuntu Studio can support you with these tasks and many more. And then also, and I won't go through all of them, but these are some of the audio tools that are in there. Adore, I've used that before in the past. I'm not that great at it, but they have a lot of these tools already, lined up to work with Ubuntu Studio. So you're good to go. And then let's go right here to graphics. And I'm pretty sure you'll see, a lot of applications that I've shown or done videos on. I talked about Blender. I talked about Inkscape, GIMP, which is my favorite, graphics editor. That's what I use for all my videos. So great application. And then Pico Pixel, never heard of that one, but that looks pretty cool as well. And then they have publishing tools that are in there. Calibre, Scabus, LibreOffice. I always talk about LibreOffice as well. So it comes with that. Photography, and most people don't understand, but LibreOffice is a very powerful application. I might do another video, or I might do a video on LibreOffice. I don't think I've done one on it, or it may have been a long time ago when I did a video on it, but LibreOffice is super powerful, and it can be ran on other operating systems like Mac OS as well as Windows 10. You can install LibreOffice and it'll do the exact same thing you could do in Microsoft Word. Like, I know a couple guys that I actually follow on YouTube that have written books using LibreOffice. So it's a great application. But anyway, back to the photography. Darktables, I talked about Darktables, Shotwell, and that's it under there. And then if we go to video, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see my favorite video editing software, but OpenShot is here, FFmpeg. So I thought I would have seen Kdenlive on here, but hey, you can always download that after the fact. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I ain't gonna down you too much, Ubuntu Studio, for not having Kdenlive, which I understand Kdenlive is typically a KDE application. Most of your applications that have a K in front of it, those are considered KDE applications. So Kdenlive kind of falls under that same category. It's managed by the KDE team, or developed and maintained by the KDE team, but you can install it on any other desktop environment most of the time, and it'll work properly. Like for instance, I use XFCE and I run Kdenlive to edit all my videos. And if you guys are interested in it, I've done a video on Kdenlive in the past, so check that out if you want some pointers on how to actually use Kdenlive. Now let's go on and get to the install and show you guys the features of the desktop. So let's get started on it. Okay, cool. So I wanted to save some time in recording this video and just go on and bring up the actual installation instead of walking you guys through it. If you've seen one Ubuntu install, you've pretty much seen them all. So it's not that tough of an installation. You just simply click next by, you know, selecting certain things based on your hardware as well as, you know, your hard drives and all that stuff. So if you've done an install of Ubuntu before, you know what I'm saying, this is super simple to do. You just follow the steps, create your account, and boot up. And also, if you guys need help on the installation of Ubuntu, I have plenty of videos where I've walked through the installation of Ubuntu using different flavors of the distribution. So now to the desktop. This is basically Ubuntu Studio, and I'm just basically going to go through. I mean, if you've used XFCE, you kind of understand how it works, but I'll break down a little bit on how to get into the settings, but I mainly want to focus in on the software that actually comes with it. Now let's go to the start menu, and the way this thing is set up, it has the panel up at the top, and then this is like your start menu in Windows. You just hit that and that'll open up the whole menu of everything you want to, you know, do on the system. Now you have your favorites. You can adjust this by right clicking on it, and that'll allow you to remove things as well as add things to the favorites. You can even drag and drop to the favorites. And then also, depending on what you use, you know, that'll show up here under recently used. And then this is the applications, all the applications right here. So you can click on that and that'll show you every application that's installed on the system. And then it breaks it out in categories under the start menu. So you can go through audio production. So you got your audio utilities, which is cool. They have it broken out in here, and that's one of the reasons I want to show you or focus on the menu first, so you guys can kind of see, you know, how things are broken out. And that's what makes this thing different than the normal Ubuntu. Like I said, this is all broken out. Like, this is audio utilities. Now, one thing I would like to see in here is Audacity, but it may be under one of these other categories. But yeah, there's plenty of audio software, audio production software in here. It says Carla Control, Kid 3 QT, QJack CTL, Carla, CAF plugin pack, and a lot of this stuff is dealing with effects under here. And if we go here, and this is instrument applications under here, and then we have the MIDI utilities under here. This is all the MIDI stuff. So if you got like a keyboard, it has a virtual MIDI keyboard built in here. This is an application I've seen. Jack keyboard, virtual keyboard for a Jack MIDI. And then if we minimize this, let's go to the next one. It says mixer, and then you got chord controllers, and this works with, you know, various audio chords. So echo mixer, one of them I know, pulse, you know, audio, and a few other things. And also, you know, under here you have other applications that are not categorized, but like Audacity. Like I said earlier, I was wondering if it was going to be under one of these utilities, but it's out here by itself, which it kind of does stand alone. Audacity is one of the best, you know, audio editing softwares that I know about. Now, some of this stuff I really haven't used before because I'm not a artist. I've never played with instruments other than the drums. But if you got any questions about it, once you install it, you know, you can look up these applications and they can explain how to actually use them. Now that we went through the audio production, let's go into the graphics design. So this shows all the graphical utilities. So you got document scanner, image magic right here in the graphics utilities, and then photography, dark tables, entangle, rapid photo downloader, raw therapy, Ristretto image viewer, which I never used that one. I mean, I have used that one before. I actually have that on my main machine. I use that image viewer. I don't know, because it works best for me. But Blender, you know, ebook viewer, GIMP, obviously, Libre, Office Draw, Krita, and Inkscape, GPick, which I don't know what that one is, but My Paint is on here. So you got all your graphics design applications pre-installed. Now let's go to the video production side and let's see. And actually it comes with Kdenlive, which I was surprised they didn't highlight that on the website, because to me that's the best video editor, you know, out there on Linux that's open source. But they also have Blender, you know, OpenShot is real good as well. I just don't have much time using it, but OpenShot is good. It's a solid video editor as well. So if you don't like Kdenlive, like I like Kdenlive, then you could try out OpenShot, and it's a couple other that you can actually use to do your video editing in. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you guys, that it actually comes with OBS Studio, and this is what I actually use to record my videos. OBS Studio is great. You can set up, you know, your different scenes and all that stuff. And I've actually done a video on OBS Studio and how you can actually use it to create videos for a YouTube channel, or, you know, just editing video or creating videos for anything really. But anyway, that's it under the video production. But then you have all your, you know, different areas like accessories, that's normally on there. And it uses Catfish file search, that's on there. Bulk renamer, it's good to see that on there. One thing about bulk renamer is you can basically run scripts on a bunch of different files. So if you have like a bunch of audio files or something and you want to rename them a certain way, then the bulk renamer will actually do that for you. Or if you need to remove text from like the front of something, or if you want to search for like underscores within the actual file name, you can find those underscores and replace them with something else. Let's say you want to put a dash there, and it'll quickly do it when you actually use it and press, you know, okay, and it'll rename everything like very quick. So that's a great tool to use. And then it's just got a whole bunch of other normal packages that you would see on a typical distribution, like Screenshot, Task Manager, so you can check out your system. And then under education, they have Libre, that's part of LibreOffice, so Libre Math is there. Under games, they only have a few games, which, you know, this system is all about being productive and creating audio or video production. You don't want to have too many games on there taking up much space. And then internet, let's see what it actually comes with. It comes with Firefox, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the best, you know, browsers that you got out there. And then Thunderbird for mail, so you can check your mail. Transmission if you do torrenting, and Pigeon instant messaging, which is pretty cool. I need to do a video on Pigeon. I actually like Pigeon. You can actually connect it to a lot of the messaging websites that are out there. Like you can set up Facebook Messenger, Google messaging, you know, all that can be done strictly from Pigeon, and you can have all those in one location. So I might do a video on that later. But anyway, let's see. Media playback, this is Parallel Media Player, which I use that a lot on my system, as well as VLC. VLC is one of my most popular media players. It pretty much plays everything, so I have that as well. I use that as well. And then the rest of LibreOffice, as well as a few other Office applications like your calendar, Global Time, PDF Arranger, Calibre, Document Viewer, and Ebook Editor. So it's great to have those applications there, especially if you're trying to like write a book or something. This is one of those distributions that are for you. And then also If you know about XFCE, you can go into the settings. This is pretty much all the settings right here. But you can also go to this settings manager right here and open it up, and this will control everything for you on the system. Like you can go to the about me, which you can change your personal information on the actual computer. Like if you want to put in your name, full name, you know, and all that good stuff into the system, you can change your photo, you know, all that stuff. Then they have appearance. They have a few different themes that are on here. I like Add Water Dark is real good, but I also kind of like this one as well that they have on it, so that's pretty cool. And then you can go through, they have a whole bunch of icon packs on here, so check that out if you want to. And then we got the fonts. You could change your fonts, and which it'll change. You can change the fonts like right here in the title bar. You can make it look different. You can change the size, all that good stuff. And then we got some other settings in here, and that's mainly for the appearance. But if we go back to all settings, you know, you got a whole bunch of settings in here. It's, like I said, this is XFCE. So if you've seen this, I mean, if you use XFCE, then you've used this before. But desktop, you can change your wallpapers, and let's go down and change that. That's super cool right there. You know what I'm saying? I like cool backgrounds. Let's try another one. That's dope as well. So I'll roll with that one for right now. But yeah, you can change your themes, display manager, which I had to go in here earlier to update my display. So if you have a big screen, you can go in and make changes to this. That way you can you know, adjust it to your display on your system if you need to. Most of the time when you installing it strictly on hardware, then it'll recognize the actual display size and adjust it for you when you install. Now this is the greeter. I actually didn't show you guys the greeter, but it's like DM GTK plus, but you can go in and change the actual greeter settings. I click on it so you guys can kind of see, but this will allow you to change it. You can install themes for the greeter as well, and you can adjust from here. Like this is a theme for it. I'm gonna just leave it the way it is. I don't want to change it. And then they have a panel. You know, you can change the panel, the window position, like where the actual login screen or where the actual login box will show. You can change all that stuff on for the greeter here. Now I'm gonna leave it alone so I don't mess with it or mess it up in any way, because I'll just log out so you guys can kind of see the greeter. And then settings editor, you can go in here and change some settings. And this is all kind of XFCE. I don't want to go too deep into this because you can kind of mess up your settings. Just leave that for right now unless you really understand what you're doing. I would look at documentation if you want to go into that settings editor, because that's mainly for like XFCE custom settings that you could change to the system. But that's pretty much it under the settings. All I wanted to show you guys. But if you have any updates that you need to do, you can go to the update manager or the add remove, I forget what it's called, and my bad, it's the software center. So if you click software center, you know, that'll pull that up, or you can go to the terminal if you want to, you know, obviously, and just type in sudo apt update and, you know, install. But this will pretty much do the exact same thing, but it's in a GUI. You know, you can install snap packs, you can install all that stuff that you could typically do on a Ubuntu system. And the first time you open this thing up, it always downloads all the images for the packages and all that stuff, so it can show it to you right the way it is in the store. So it takes a while to open up the first time, but once you know, open it up for that first time, then it'll load everything in the cache or whatever, so you have it all here. You can see all your images. It downloads all this stuff. Like you can see the reviews and the ratings, and pretty much all this is a wrapper for a browser. At the end of the day, that's really all it is. And you're just clicking on something and it's downloading it to your computer. Like let me click on Blender right fast. All you have to do is hit install and it'll install it, which is weird because Blender is on here. I'm not sure why it's showing it. Yeah, it's not on here. I think it's because it doesn't know. And maybe that'll update once I update the system. but I won't mess with it, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. But like I said, they had a snap store, you know, all that good stuff. And maybe this is the snap version, or maybe the snap, yeah, this is the snap version, and maybe the one here is the regular version, or the regular package, dev package. So that might be why it's showing that it's not installed. So actually, let's I'm curious now. I want to see if it's like what package is installed on here. Yeah, and we have the regular dev package. I was wondering, okay, so this is the regular dev package. See, it says Ubuntu Focal Universe, or yeah, Focal Universe. That's why it shows that Blender is not installed. This is the snap pack. So don't get confused with that, kind of like what I just did, not knowing that that was showing the regular flat pack. So or the regular dev package. Well, this was showing the snap pack right here first. So, and that's why it was showing that it needs to be installed when actually it's already installed. But anyway, the front page, just like in all of them, they all show, you know, recommended packages, and then you can click on the right here and it'll show you the installed packages that are on the system, and then you can go through and do your updates. And it says last checked at 1927, which is cool. You can refresh it and it'll check for more packages. And then also these are your settings under here, and you can go under here and actually, and I apologize, it should be a way for you to go in and make changes to this thing. Yeah, there we go. So it's under software and updates, but you can go through, make changes under here if you need to. It's got additional drivers, you know, it'll search for additional drivers if you need to. Updates, you know, you could change the update settings, so it'll automatically check for updates. But with Linux, nothing will install until you approve it. So that's one reason I like Linux, and I recommend Linux to people. Like, I work on Windows systems all the time, and a lot of times when you in the middle of doing something very important, your system will just automatically shut down, or it'll say it needs to do these updates for whatever reason, and you can't extend it, or you didn't extend it enough to where it says, oh, it's critical that you need to update this system. With Linux, you can continue working and then update your system on your schedule, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to show you guys. Oh yeah, and one last thing I wanted to show you guys was the actual greeter. If you guys want to see it, let's just lock it and see if it keeps the same. There we go. So that's the greeter right there. That's what it kind of looks like. And actually that's the live screen. Let me actually log off the system right fast. And I figured it was going to change up, but that's the way the greeter actually looks. So right there is the greeter side, or the greeter and everything. And I wish it would keep the same resolution of the screen, but you know, it automatically adjusts as soon as you come back in. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please check out this flavor of Ubuntu. Right now it's on long-term support of 20.04, so check it out for yourself. You know, play around with it and see if you actually like the operating system, and it may be something that can replace your current Windows system if you would like to. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comment box below, and of course, keep it techie.